Hello everyone, this is David with the fish. We've been picking just a whole lot of sugar snap peas out of the garden, and when they get fat like this, they're still perfectly good, but the problem is I find they get strings. They'll have two, so you can see where a little string is started right there. They'll have strings, and I just hate the strings. I like the real thin flat ones. So I've got a great solution for all the ones that I pick that are these big fat ones like this, is I will blanch these in boiling water. Got the heat running under here. Get this thing nice and hot, and I'll bring it to a, I'm bad about walking off, turning something on the gas and walking off. So what I'll do is I'll bring this to a boil. In fact, I'll go ahead and add the beans now. Why not? These are going to make fabulous food for the Ancistrus and anybody else that likes a little green matter in their food. So I'll bring these to a nice boil. Then I'll turn it off and let it cool down some. And then when I walk back by again, and I got a couple of minutes, I'll turn it back on, bring it to a boil again. I'll do that 2 or 3 times, and then these things will get blanched enough that they'll sink. Once they'll sink, then I don't need any of the little screws or nuts or clips or whatever to feed the fish. I'll just break them in half, pull out the peas, and let the shells just sink down to the bottom. The fish will be all over them in seconds. This will give me enough food for a while, and what better way to feed your Ancistrus? They'll breathe for sure when you're giving them lots of nice fresh food. I've done this for a couple of years with the Romano pole beans that we grow. I put all the ones that I should have picked sooner. I do this with, and this is the first year I've actually had so many sugar snap peas that I actually have some left over. So the fish will be enjoying these right up until the beans start to show up. So we're going to let this sit here and boil, and I'll come back and show you how things go in, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. So, what do you think?
Oh,
oh, and we have a blueberry on the floor. Oh, would you like a blueberry? It's hard to beat. How about the raspberry I was originally going to give you? Would you like the raspberry? Yes. Oh, you're so gentle. Thank you. Don't fall out of your little bed begging. Yes. We'll have some more for you in a minute. All right, it's been a few minutes, and they are just starting to boil a little bit. I'm going to let them get to be a little more of a boil so they cook up some. Then I'm going to go have some of those raspberries and blueberries that you saw my little Mr. Bailey eating while this cools down, and then we'll come back and heat it up again. So we're going to turn this off, put the lid on, and we'll come back in a half hour and crank it up again. Alright, let's see how we're doing. They're up to a nice rolling boil here. Looking good. It's getting late, so I'm going to turn these off and let them cool. My guess is they'll probably all sink after this once they cool down. The boiling gets a lot of bubbles going inside the beans, and that'll keep them floating. But I'll bet they'll all be sunk in the morning when we get up, and they'll be ready to feed to the fish. I'll be starting some new infusoria with the peas, the little round peas. Ow, it's pretty hot. And giving the albino Ancistrus some great snacks with those peas. So this is David with a fish. Making fish food for the Ancistrus with some sugar snap peas. I'll show you how this looks in the morning and how it is when I'm feeding them to the fish. So this is a little after 9 o'clock at night and I'm old. I'm heading up to bed. Thank you for watching this far. It's the next morning and as you can see they've all sunk. So it's time to take them out. Get them on a towel to dry. Because when you freeze them you don't want all that extra water. Just encourages freezer burn. Makes them hard to get apart. You'd like them to freeze kind of individually, or at least in clumps of just 2 or 3, so they're easy to pull out. Since they've had all night to cool, I can just pick them out with my hands. Now this water is just perfect to give to your plants because it's got all kinds of nutrients in it too that came out of the peas. So we're going to let these peas sit here and dry for a while and then we'll feed a couple to the fish and get the rest into the freezer. Alright, taking a pea, split it, taking the peas out, and I'm happy to say they sink. And they are moving in. Nothing like some fresh snap peas. Get them all going. So let's move over and try this on another tank. And there's the frenzy at the next one, so let's move over to the third tank. And now peas for the third tank. And the crews are coming to the pea feast. So your fresh vegetables don't have to just be zucchini. One of the really nice things about the peas and about the green beans is that the next day they're not getting all like cloudy, mushy, fungusy like zucchini will do. They just sit there until they're gone. So, this is David with the fish, showing you another way to feed your Ancistrus that makes them really happy. This has got to work really well for snails too, except I can't keep a snail alive. I can't even keep pond snails alive. So keep watching and please subscribe.